Most people now are so scared of missing out on the boom. They're just buying anything and paying a lot of money for it. I'm George Markoski and welcome to the Positive Property Show. Our mission is to empower 10,000 people to create financial freedom through property using the Markoski method. Join us. Hello, freedom fighters, and welcome to our show. Last show of the year. Hi, Stacey.
Welcome. Hello, George.
Yes, so I'm excited to say this is the last show of the year. Look, 2021 has been a crazy year, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah, very crazy in terms of investing and life in general, isn't it?
Yes. So, guys, if you're watching live, please type in hashtag live. All my little fellow freedom fighters out there. Someone said, Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your holidays. I haven't had any holidays. And look at me and Stacey are still working now. No, I don't consider this work. I consider this fun. But we've got a massive project. We've got Robert Kiyosaki coming on the 22nd.
We do. It's so exciting.
Which is pretty exciting. And because of that, I haven't had a chance to have a holiday. But you know what? It's been fun. It's been inspirational working with Robert. So it's been awesome. And now, look, if you're watching the replay, type in hashtag replay just so I keep my eye on you because it's important. Now, we're going to talk about why I'm going to do the opposite to most people today, why I'm doing the opposite of most investors in 2022 and why you should too. And look, beard is on point. Thank you. I really think that going with the flow and going with the masses of what people are doing is never the right thing to do. As you know, everyone heard of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, he says, you know, when people are greedy, you be fearful. When people are fearful, you be greedy. And I don't like using the word fear or greed personally, because I think you shouldn't be acting out of fear or greed anyway, full stop. Unfortunately, most investors do. They are either fear-based, most people are scared of actually investing.
They want everything now.
Yeah, most people are scared of investing. They're fear-based. And the greedy people, they're just trying to get a bargain and trying to really, get something for nothing. Now, the fundamentals of investing precludes any emotion like fear or greed because it shouldn't be there. It should be more of an intellectual exercise. And if you're using emotions to invest, little stars on top of my head, look at that.
Stars on top of your head.
You see the star from the Christmas tree?
Oh, I can too.
Yeah. Also, what I want to do is I want to apologize to everyone about last week because last week I opened up my streaming program, Restream, and it just wouldn't let me on. And, I missed my normal time because I do promise you guys that I'm going to be here. Our team's going to be here over and over again. Hi, George and Stacey. Merry Christmas. Love Marissa and Kathy. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Yes. Now, how did that pop up there? Well,
I did that.
Looks good. Anyway, so when you're investing, a lot of people find investing complicated and they end up using their emotions, their gut. Now, using your gut is okay if you're an expert, but not if you're not an expert. That's the difference. See, a lot of people say use your gut, listen to your gut, trust your gut. Yes, if you know what you're doing, trust your gut. But if you don't, you shouldn't be trusting your gut. I'll give you an example. Like, a fireman that's had a lot of experience, he'll look at a burning building and he'll know whether to go into that building or not. And he'll know if it's going to collapse on him. But if you're not a fireman and you look at that building, you've got no idea and your gut's going to steer you wrong one way or the other. You might have some bravado and jump in and kill yourself, or you might be a pussy and not go in where you should have gone in. That's why experience creates a good gut. To gut reactions of things. And if you haven't got experience, you shouldn't be using your gut because your gut is your unconscious mind getting all your experience together and telling you yes or no. See, I've been investing in property so long now that I can look at something and I feel it. I know what's happening.
Yeah, same as any profession. Yep.
That's right, exactly. Like a brain surgeon knows brain surgery. I wouldn't use my gut doing brain surgery on someone because it wouldn't be right, because you've got to be good at one thing only. And that's what you're be good at. And I am, my skill actually is helping people invest and really getting the mind game of investing right, because that's the one game that most people can't get right. And I want to talk about this time of the year because it's so important. you know, because I really think everyone, you've got there's only two reasons people are in pain. I'll give you the two reasons. Either you're getting out of your comfort zone, that's why you're in pain, or you're not getting out of your comfort zone, that's why you're in pain.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the only two reasons.
Yeah.
Now, the deal is, though, if you're staying in your comfort zone and you're in pain because you're not doing anything and you're stuck where you are. But if you're getting out of your comfort zone, you're in pain because you're growing and learning and improving. What would you prefer? I mean, would you like the pain of getting out of your comfort zone or the pain of staying in your comfort zone and being stuck where you are? I'd like some people to type in the chat and ask. There's a different way of framing this. And the different way of framing this is, do you prefer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret?
Yeah, that's it.
Because we've got an option. The beautiful part is you get an option. You get to choose discipline or regret. But unfortunately, you have to choose one. And if you don't choose discipline, which most people don't do, sooner or later, regret will come.
That's
In
it.
many areas. I mean, let's say you're a smoker, right? Quitting smoking takes discipline. It's not easy. But if you keep smoking, you'll probably regret it on your deathbed if you get cancer or something. I'm not saying you will, because some people don't. I mean, the oldest woman in the world lived to 123. She gave up smoking when she was 100 and she lived to 123. But statistically, smoking's not good.
Yeah, statistically, if you look at the majority.
Yeah, and I'm not here to judge anyone either. You know what I mean? I'm just here to say, okay, look at what you're doing and, you know, are you going to have regret or discipline?
And what is it, George, that most people are doing? What are investors doing in this next year?
Okay, I'm going to tell you a little story to explain.
All right.
I'm going to tell you a story about an ant and a grasshopper.
Okay.
So what happened was, it was summertime, and it was summer, and the grasshoppers, you know what they do in summer? They make that noise. So there's playing, you know, they're playing music, and the grasshoppers playing music and having a good time, while the little ant's out there working, picking up stuff and storing it in his little thing and working around. The grasshopper's laughing at the ant, going, "Oh, you stupid ant. It's summertime. There's plenty of food everywhere. You should enjoy yourself and have some fun," right? The ant's going, "No, because, you know, it's summer now, but winter is coming." A bit like Jon Snow. The ant is the Jon Snow of the insect kingdom. So winter is coming. That's what they believe. That's what they think. But the grasshopper's like, it's always going to be summer. It's going to be great. So what happens is the ant is building up his stores and everything else like that, getting ready and working hard during summer, reaping while times are good. Well, the grasshopper's sitting on his ass having fun, and then winter comes. Now, during winter, there's no food, but the ant's been working hard and has got so much food in his cellar. You know, he's got a little fine wine, a lot of little pickled vegetables, some dry meat. He's having a ball. The grasshopper knocks on his door, freezing and cold and starving, going, "You know, can you please let me in?" And the ant looks at him and goes, "You know, during summer you were laughing at me for working and you didn't do anything, and now, you know, you want my help."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the funny thing is, the grasshopper in winter is going, "Oh, this is terrible. It's never going to end. This sucks. It's the worst." But guess what the ant's thinking in winter? Summer. You know, summer's going to come around. Right? So what people have to realize is, whenever there's a winter, there's summer around the corner. Whenever there's a summer, there's a winter around the corner. So don't be fooled when the property market's going really high or really low, because it's not what we're looking for. That's speculation, you know, because at the moment everyone's got FOMO and they're going crazy. They're trying to buy property and they're going, "Oh no." Then there's a lot of people going, "Oh, it's too late to buy property," right?
Yeah.
There's lots of people I've heard going, "That's it. We've missed it again." They've missed like 3 booms
I
in a
think
row.
they missed the boom. Yeah.
The boom. And I've got some good news for you. You haven't missed the boom. Because, and I'll tell you why people haven't missed the boom. Because the reason they haven't missed the boom, because property is all about time in the market, not timing. So what property investing is about is buying property and holding it for a long time.
In the right spot too.
Yes, obviously in the right spot. And so you want to buy the right property in the right spot. But the key is you buy the property and you hold it.
Yeah.
And you don't sell it, and it keeps going up.
Like the
ant. But you don't want to be like the grasshopper, where, you know, during the boom you're buying, during the winter you're selling, and you just not sure what you're doing, and you're not sticking to your long-term goals.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason most people fail in real estate is because they're thinking short term. They're speculating, right? And I don't get excited when I make a lot of money out of a property. Actually, I do. But
That's a
I
lie.
don't cry when I don't make money either, because I know it's going to. So, for example, I bought a property in Perth before the mining boom, and I paid $220,000. 2 years later, before I even saw this property, because I bought it online, it doubled and went to 500 without me even seeing it, right? But I wasn't that excited because I knew over 10 years it would double over 10 years. So then what happened? It slowed down a bit.
Yeah.
And then it went down. 3 years ago, my Perth property went down. So it was worth about 730, went down to 670, where most people are going, oh my God, it went down. But I'm saying, well, if it went down, guess what's going to happen next? It's going to go up again. And
you just bought at the right time. So you're already ahead anyway.
That's right. But guess what's happening now of that property? It's going to double again.
Yeah.
The next doubling, right? And the thing is, I'm sticking it out. But I could have 3 years ago gone, oh shit, it keeps going down. What am I going to do? And I see a lot of people do this, and then they quit. People along that path. And, so what happens is, people are going along their path, they trip up, have something go wrong or not quite right, and then they give up. And they decide that's it. It's over. And you can't. You got to just keep going and push it through, because you'll get there. And, so the key is, next year is not to get overexcited by the hype.
Yeah. And
do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So what's going to happen is the property magazines are going to come out and they're going to go, check this out. Callum Vale has gone up 5 years in a row. It went up 20%, 22%, 30%. Amazing. You should buy there, right? Then they're going to say, oh, you should buy in Grange. Grange has gone up. And they're going to talk about all these suburbs that have already gone up and talk about how great they are. They've already had their growth.
Yeah.
But what people do, they go, wow, it's gone up 5 years in a row. I need to jump on that bandwagon now. Sorry, guys, but you've missed it. You've totally missed that. And what you need to do...
made it to the magazine, it's too late.
That's right, exactly. And what needs to happen is you need to find properties that haven't gone up, that will go up. Yeah. So there's a lot more to it than that, because, it's not that simple, because you can find properties that haven't gone up. But if the fundamentals are wrong, they're never going to go up. So you don't want to buy those properties. Yeah. You want to buy properties that have got good fundamentals, that are going to go up, but haven't done that just yet. Yeah. And I use a little tool called market cycle timing to do this. So what I do is I look at historical averages of this property, this suburb, and then work out, okay, what does it normally do? And what has it done in the last 5 years? Yeah. Is it below or above what it's done? Yeah. Because, if you got, like, let's say, for example, you got apples and oranges keep going up in value. And, you have to pay $20 a kilo for oranges, but apples are $2 a kilo. What's going to happen? People are going to start eating apples. And then apples are going to be worth more because people want to buy them. They're going to balance out. Because it's never going to be an orange $200 a kilo and an apple $2 a kilo. It's never going to happen. So what happens is, then what you do is look at average price balancing, and you look at other suburbs around it. And if the other suburbs have gone up, so if you go to a fruit shop and the oranges have gone up and mandarins have gone up, well, grapefruit's next. Yeah. And it's a bit like that with suburbs as well. Okay. So there's a lot more to it than that. But what we need to do is we need to find properties that haven't had their little boom yet. Yeah, ones that are yet to have it. Otherwise, they're jumping on it. And a lot of people will jump on it too late. They'll hit it when it's at its peak. That's right. And look, if you hit it at its peak, all it's going to do is slow you down a little bit. If it's a quality suburb, it's still going to be good anyway. But you're better off trying to find a suburb that hasn't had that peak yet, and it's about to have that peak. And that's the key. And that's the whole key of the demand-supply ratio. Because when there's more demand, less supply, that's going to go up. Yeah, and you can look at it in one of two ways. So investing's really hard and not many people can do it, or you look at it and say, look, I want to be part of the 0.068% or those 680 people out of a million and own 6 properties. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge, or it's too hard. That's right. But the rewards are so great. Yeah. Because what they say is, if you're willing to do what other people aren't willing to do, That's the definition of success.
Yeah.
And
And
in
thinking along
property,
the lines of it's the opposite.
yep. And in property, it's all about courage, but the right courage, not using your gut and just buying anything, because that's what's going to happen. See, the problem is most people now are so scared of missing out on the boom. They're just buying anything and paying a lot of money for it. And
Yeah.
you can't just buy anything and make money out of it.
Yeah. And you can make money, but sometimes, like you said, it's slow.
That's right. You really don't want to buy anything. You want to be really surgical, because how many properties can someone buy in their lifetime? There's a limited supply, but also if you get it wrong, you get the first property wrong, then you're probably going to be stuck there. I've seen people, they buy one or two bad properties and then they can't get any more. And then I've seen people where you buy the right property, then the right property again, and you keep building that portfolio. And then it becomes easy because you've got that base. And there's no way I would have ended up with over 40 properties if I didn't get the right, some of them really correct. Let's face it, to get 40 properties, you need to get a lot of them right.
Yeah, that's it.
But, luckily I've made it into a system and it's easy to get it because I know the checklist. I know exactly what I'm looking for. And because I help so many people every week, it's really simple for me. Where the first time was hard. That was very difficult. Second time, a bit easier. After the 10th time, pretty easy. And now I've done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. So it's easy.
Yeah.
Just like anything in life,
And the good thing is we're essentially buying where you're buying. So if you're not successful, we're not. So we know that it's going to be successful if we do it that way.
Yep, exactly. That's right. It's been a very tough time for people the last 2 years. In everything. But one thing I must say is our community of investors have thrived during this time, which is great. It's great.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they're very successful.
Exciting. And that's very exciting to, have so many people that are super successful, but also super grateful.
Yeah.
Okay, someone's asking a question, a good one here. Do you want to read it out?
Yeah, how do you save yourself if you do end up with a bad investment? My friend is 2 to 3 years in and still losing money.
That's a really good question. Now, look, we've had a lot of people join our program that had dud investments.
And dud loss.
Yep. So first thing what I do is the first thing you ought to do is look at the structure and see how it's structured. Because sometimes if you tweak the structure, you can actually start making money on a losing property. We had a couple join our program last year, this Indian couple, a lovely couple, and we actually saved them over $55,000 a year in the first hour of them joining our program. Just by restructuring what they're doing, because they didn't know what they're doing. They were hard workers. They made a lot of money, but they didn't understand the tax, the cash flow, the investment loan, and all that other stuff involved in it. Because a lot of people think, you buy a property, go to a bank and get a loan. They don't think about the tax or the structure or the interest rate or what structure of the loan and all that sort of stuff, or asset protection or anything else like that,
There's a lot of factors that come into it too, like where's the property located? How much was the property? What type of property?
Yeah.
Is there deductions?
Yeah. So this bad investment might be a good investment, right? And a lot of times what I see is people come in and go, oh, I've had this property for 3-4 years and hasn't done anything and it's losing money every week. And what we do is change the structure, wait a couple of years, and then suddenly it doubles, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they bought in a really bad area. Right.
Yep.
And then we just got to get rid of it. So I've had customers come in and they bought a unit in Sydney or Melbourne, and the property's been going down, their rent's going down. And you know what you got to do? You got to cut and say goodbye, which is very hard for people to do.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to cut your losses.
That's right. Because, very rarely do you have to do that. Probably 10% of the time. But when you do it, you got to do it because, if you've got a sinking ship, it's going to just destroy your whole portfolio. But people emotionally find it very hard to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's difficult. And I always tell people a story on how to get their head around it. Let's say, for example, you're walking to the shops and it was like 10 kilometers away and you already walked 7 Ks and then you found out the shop was closed. Would you keep going or would you turn around?
Yeah. Or
Well,
it depends the purpose. Were you going
so-
for a walk or are you just going to the
no,
shop?
you go to the shop to buy something, but the shop is closed. You find out it's closed. You've already done 7Ks. What do? Do you keep walking or do you turn around?
Yeah, well, turn around.
Of course, because it's closed. But see, what happens is people go, oh, but I've had this investment, it's been losing money for 5 years. I can't stop now. But I'm saying you have to. I know one guy in Adelaide, and he
Wouldn't let go.
He wouldn't let go. So he's a friend of mine, actually, great guy. And what happened was he was buying a commercial property. I said, please don't do that, whatever you do, because you're going to lose money on it straight away. So he bought it and lost 30% in the first 3 months. Then
30%.
Then went down 50% the next couple of years. And I kept saying, just get rid of it. And he goes, oh, I can't. I lost 30%. Then he lost 50. And he goes, oh, I can't now. And now he's like losing even more money. He's like, I can't because I'm losing money. But I'm going, look, you can because it doesn't matter. Shop's closed. You're going to keep walking. It's not open. You just got to just get rid of it. But people will find it hard to do that. And what happens is that's the way Nigerians catch a lot of people out.
Nigerians.
Yes. So what happens is they write you a letter and go, hello, I'm from Nigeria and I'm a prince and I've got $50 million. I need your help. And if I could put it in your account, I'm going to give you 10%, whatever. I don't know if you've seen those, the Nigerian letter scam. I get the letters all the time. And then what happens is you go, oh, great, I'm going to get 50 mil, like awesome. So you write.
Oh, yeah, I have seen those.
Yeah. And then what happens is they go, okay, great. But what we need to do is in order to clear it, we're going to pay stamp duty and we need $200. That's all. And you're thinking, well, for $5 million, $200 is nothing. I'll invest 200. They go, oh, thank you very much. And then what happens? They go, oh, because Nigeria is so corrupt, we have to actually bribe this other official. That's going to cost $1,000. So you give them $1,000. And then what happens? They go, yes, but actually the leader of the National Party came in and now it's changed and he wants 2,000. Otherwise it's not happening. This is very important. There's the last stop and then you've got your money. So you put 2,000. So what happens is they keep asking more and more. And what happens is because you put that money in, it's hard to say no. There was a guy in Queensland and his wife was begging him not to do it, but he actually sold their house and gave it all to the Nigerians.
Oh, no.
He gave him $200, then $500, then $1,000, just kept going. And because he was stuck, he couldn't stop. And she begged him. And I saw it on 60 Minutes. She begged him and he actually sold the house, mortgaged the house and gave him everything. Can you believe it?
Yeah, wow. It's amazing. We've got another one here, George. I bought the 2 worst properties you could purchase, mining town, 2-bedroom apartment. I was stuck for 9 years, entered PPS, and it's turned around. It can be done. So there you go.
Awesome. There you go. Thank you so much for that. Yes.
Yeah.
And look, a lot of people saying, I can't believe people fall for that rubbish. But the problem is, it's that whole, people find it hard once they get caught up in that whole cycle. And, and that's why you got to cut your losses. And this happens with property, with Nigerian scams, being in the wrong relationship, all sorts of stuff, being in the wrong job. You just keep compromising your standards. But really, at the end of the day, what you need to do in all areas of life is have really super high standards.
Yeah.
And if
do
you have
research.
if you have high standards, then your life gets better because you've got high standards. And then people try to get compromising their standards to get their result quicker, but actually makes it slower.
It does. It does. Yep. Slow and steady wins the race.
Totally.
And I was just talking to someone today that wanted to fast track.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Property is obviously a long-term game, but the slow track's the fast track.
Exactly, because you got to do it properly, and that's the key. And a lot of people, and that's why I'm really annoys me about a lot of companies out there with the get-rich-quick mentality. Going, I got a book today, actually, funny enough. I've got to read it.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you guys who it is, but I obviously, it's just ridiculous. Start your very own property empire. All it'll take is 60 minutes or 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
60 minutes. Like, I'm just thinking, anyone believing that, right? It's like, how would you say? it's a bit like the Nigerian scam, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? It is, totally.
It's misleading, yeah.
You can't build a property empire in 60 minutes or 60 seconds.
No.
And this guy wrote a book about it. Like,
maybe it's a plan. Is it a plan to build it? Because you obviously can't build it.
No, you can't. But look,
Okay.
a lot of companies that go out there and offer all this amazing results. There was a company, because we in our black belt program, we do 10 properties in 10 years. And it's achievable if you're diligent, you get everything right. There was a company in Melbourne saying 10 properties in 10 months.
10 properties in 10 months.
Yes.
Now, maybe they're only dealing in a certain market. I don't know.
Well, knowing how quick finance is these days, good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sam
Stay in
Cameron
your lane.
has got.
So great live stream. Stay in your lane and focus on what you're good at. Find mentors and learn the craft. Thanks for the information. We'll be in touch in the new years.
Excellent.
So that's Sam.
Thank you, Sam. Yes, and that's Sam on YouTube, funny enough.
Sam on YouTube.
Yeah, you can see that little YouTube button. Yes, because we're live streaming on YouTube at the same time as we are on Facebook.
I can see that. Okay, yeah, I didn't even realize that showed up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, stay in your lane. And look, and that's the same with like our title here is doing the opposite to what most investors are doing. And look, a lot of investors at the moment, they do try and do it themselves.
They do.
It's like, can you learn in an hour what George does full time every day?
No, exactly. And now what I was going to do is I was going to play our video because the good news is we've got Robert Kiyosaki coming next year doing a one-day workshop with me, and I want to play the promo video so everyone can see it. It's only 1 minute. It's pretty quick.
Right. Can you play it?
I'm going to try play it. Let's see if I can share my screen, but I don't know. Yeah, share system audio too. Oh, pretty cool.
Easy.
Okay, let's do this. Tell me if you can hear it, guys. We're just standing there like this, going.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki here, best known for this book here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I'm very happy to be doing the Master of Wealth Property Summit with my friend George Markoski. He and I met about 3 years ago, and the thing I'm ecstatic about George, he is a hardcore teacher. He really wants you to learn. So welcome to the Master of Wealth Property Summit.
Real estate and wealth generally doesn't happen by accident. It is engineered. And when you understand to engineer wealth, that's where you can really start to bring things forward.
So please remember this, especially property in Aussie. You've got to hang out with guys like George who know the numbers. Get the real numbers, the facts. Because I can talk to you about cash flow and all those things. George is better at that than me.
Okay, there you go.
Wow, perfect.
So, guys, that's our new promo with Robert Kiyosaki, and it's coming out. We're doing it on the 22nd of January. What I've actually got a handful of tickets, of free tickets that are pre-registration. If you want a ticket, type in hashtag Robert and George, and I'll get my team to send you a free ticket to come along. It's going to be a full day of me and Robert. It's going to be pretty exciting. I'm really pumped about it. It's going to be fantastic.
Can't wait.
Yes. So it'd be great to see you guys there because it's going to be cool because I've been a big fan of Robert Kiyosaki for a long time. You know, he understands the fundamentals, but even though like when I first found out about Robert Kiyosaki was back in the 90s. And when I read his book, I thought, wow, what an amazing guy. Imagine meeting him someday. And actually now I get to share the stage with him, which is pretty cool. You know, and we've been, since I met him 3 or 4 years ago, we've been communicating quite a bit and talking about property and stuff, which is cool because we both love property. But he's still relevant to this day. He really knows what he's doing, which is great.
Yep, I've read the book, or I've listened to the book, I suppose. I do it on walks and stuff. If you're ever going out walking, download the Audible of that book. It's really good.
Yep. The audible of my book is coming out in January, which is exciting.
Oh, awesome. So that'll be available on the app?
Will we be able to zoom into this seminar? Yes, you will be able to zoom in. Yep, that's the whole point. We're doing a Zoom seminar on the 22nd. It's on a Saturday. It's from 8:30 in the morning till about 5:30 at night. It's going to be a long day, but we're going to be doing the whole lot and really getting, we're going to be going from novice investor to expert investor by the end of the day. It's going to be pretty amazing.
Well worth your time.
Totally.
Well worth it. Okay, Robert Kiyosaki is a living legend. Yes, he is.
He is. He's a living legend. And what I love about what we're going to be actually, if anyone's seen the cash flow quadrant, he's got the cash flow quadrant. Robert Kiyosaki has reinvented that now. And we're going to be showing you guys the new cash flow quadrant, a little nuance, a little bit of a finer detail that's going to just be such a big aha piece in your investing journey. It's going to be amazing. When I heard Robert say this, I was like, wow, like, hello, this is brilliant. I'm very excited that we're going to share this because, we were speaking about it the other day and he sort of mentioned something about one of the quadrants. And I was like, does this sound what it sounds like? And he said, yep. And I was like, wow, everyone's going to love this. Even though it's one sentence, it makes a world of difference to everyone. Amazing. So also what it's going to do is actually tell you guys why Robert and I are doing the opposite of everyone in 2022. We're going to be explaining it all on the one-day workshop because we both have got the same strategy when it comes to investing, and we do the opposite of 99% of the people. And that's, I guess, why we've become so successful at it, which is great.
Yeah, do what everyone else is doing and you'll get what everyone else has got.
That's right. Yes. So we're going to open up for a quick Q&A because we're going to have a quick one today because tomorrow night is New Year's night. And
it is last, end of the year. That's it.
So who's done their goals for 2022?
So we'll wait a second till they reply, George.
Okay, I'm going to do my goals tomorrow. I haven't done them yet. I normally do them. I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do goals. I want to go through all my different categories and really hit it hard. I love doing.
So this is life as well as investing?
Yeah, absolutely. Investing is just one part of it. I normally have 7 categories. So I've got, investing, which is passive investments. Then you've got, business, career, which is another one. Then you got relationships, which is family and loved ones and all your friends. And then you've got mind. I think having, goals for your mind are important.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got health and fitness,
yeah,
which is important because without health and fitness, you got nothing.
That's
and
it.
then I've got fun and adventure because I like to plan out my fun and adventure for the year. Even though, yeah, absolutely. Even though the last year I've been stuck at home, next year I plan on leaving Australia somehow. And then the last one is spirituality.
Yep.
Yep. So they're the 7 categories that I use. And what I normally do is write down several pages on all of this, and then I try to cut it down to 2 main themes and ideas in each area. Because then you've got 14 massive goals that you do.
Yeah, and try and achieve each one. So you'll have to plan and date. Do you put dates on them?
Well, yes, absolutely. Without a date. I mean, I'll do SMART goals: specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, timed. So that's very important. So yeah. So I think it's important to do SMART goals. But look, one thing, you got SMART goals, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timed. The realistic part, I don't quite agree with. So I think that your goal should not be that realistic. You should have crazy goals, because if you have realistic goals and you can reach them, then they're not going to be exciting enough. Because I really think your goals, there's one thing they need to do. They need to be the fuel for you getting up in the morning and you're staying up late at night and doing what you're doing. You need that drive. And if they're not exciting enough, not big enough, they're not going to do that. So I do crazy big goals, even if I know I'm not going to get them. because
Really?
I need crazy big goals so I can really. Otherwise, I can't be bothered. Can't be stuffed. Seriously, you know. And the funny thing is, you know, goals that seemed crazy to me 20 years ago now are nothing.
And nothing.
It's weird that way. You know what I mean?
I think I want to know what some of your crazy goals are, George.
Okay, one of my crazy goals is I want to get Positive Property to be $1 billion unicorn.
$1 billion.
Yes, absolutely. Because doing 10 million or 20 million or $50 million company doesn't excite me, but $1 billion unicorn is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They call it the 9 Comma Club.
Ah, okay. Okay, you want to be part of that club.
Triple commas. You need 3 commas. Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I've been watching this sitcom called Silicon Valley. It's hilarious. They talk about that. But I think, you know, the bigger your goals, the more impact you have on people around you. Right? So, you know, my overarching goal and our unstoppable mission is to empower 10,000 Australians to create wealth through investing in property using the Markoski method. That all ties in. You know what I mean? Because 10,000 is a lot of people that we can help.
But it is.
And when you think about it, how the hell are we going to help 10,000 people? I know we can. We're just going to find the way to do it.
Yeah. I can see Belinda Douglas. She's written down her goals. Give me some, Belinda. Go put one up. Oh, someone else is looking.
It's so funny. I watched it twice. Yeah, look, it is hilarious. It's so funny. And there's one scene where the billionaires, someone having a go at the billionaire, and the billionaire goes, "Oh, billionaires are people too. We've got problems." And they are people too. Absolutely. They got just different problems. It's funny how people think that once you've got a shit ton of money that you're not going to have problems.
Yeah.
Belinda, 3 properties in 2022. Awesome. That is excellent.
It's a good goal.
Love it. Yeah. And the other year, you know, my goal was to make $1 million out of property without getting out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I thought, that's crazy. But it happened.
Yeah, it happens.
It's pretty cool.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
All right. And we were going to do a giveaway today.
Okay. Yes. How are we going to do the giveaway? Tell me.
All right. All right. So should we ask a question and see who answers?
Yep. We're going to give away a Pendo Pad 7.
All right.
Okay. What I want to do is I want to get people to ask me a question to ask Robert Kiyosaki. And the best question wins. And you get a Pendo Pad.
All right.
Get in there, guys. Type it in.
We'll give you from now to the next, 10 minutes?
Yep. And then we're ending in 10 minutes. We're out of here. So that's it.
We're out of here. 10 minutes you've got. So ask away. Put your questions in and we'll get them up.
10 minutes time, the bar at the Markoski residence opens, and that's it. I'm out.
The bar opens. I can't drive that, George.
Sorry, what? You can't what?
Well, I can't drive that far.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know.
I've got a 5-hour drive, I think. 4-hour drive from here.
It'd be great when we have little, one of those drones that can pick you up. And fly you.
Yeah. That will do. I'll just ride that over.
Yeah,
Could be one of your goals, George. Let's just make it one of your goals.
Yeah. Look,
a drone to pick people up.
I'll leave it up to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Perfect. Well, I'm hoping for 2 a year, 2 properties a year.
That's good. That's excellent. That's really good. Yeah.
Look, if you get more, that's a bonus, right?
Exactly. So, guys, type in your questions because
they're all going, quick, what's a good question? What's a good question?
Yeah, it's probably not that easy, is it? What are you going to ask Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah, because you're trying to think outside the box too. Okay, so here we go. So if I had 20K to invest, what are the top 3 things I could do with it? So that's a question for Robert.
That's right. That's a good question.
We've got one, but it just says Facebook user, so you'll have to give us your name.
Yes, because this program doesn't give us people's names for some reason.
Yes. Okay. What are the top 3 things we could do with it?
Yeah. Now, I'm thinking about changing the name of our group.
What are we changing?
Well, It's called the Australian Property Chat.
Mhm.
I'm thinking of changing to the Australian Property Investor
Yeah.
because
Okay.
we might chat. Okay, Angela, what do I do if I'm good at saving but my partner is in debt and overspends? That's a tough one.
Yeah. Polar opposites. That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Absolutely. And look, I guess it's challenging if you and your partner haven't got the same goals or aren't on the same page. You know,
Yeah, you really need to get on the same page.
yeah, I find makes your life a lot easier. But sometimes there's one person that's the investor and one person that's the spender.
Yeah.
You know,
Balances you out.
yeah, I must say, I mean, Christina's the saver. I'm the spender in our relationship. So, no, I try to get her to spend, but she doesn't spend a lot. But I love spending. That's me.
Yeah.
But I didn't spend when I was saving. What happens is I really believe that you can only spend if you deserve it, and you can only spend with your passive income. That's my rule. My rule
Yeah.
is if you work for your income, invest it. But
And a similar situation here, Angela. I'm a saver, but my partner loved to spend. We set up a structure that he got an allocated amount each week to spend on himself. So he couldn't dive into any of the rest of the account. That was all in allocated lots, but an allocated amount to spend meant that he had something to spend always.
okay, excellent. That I like that. That's really smart. Very smart.
Yeah, so we have the same amount to spend. So if I choose to save mine, I choose to save it. But if I choose to spend it on something, I can. But he spends his constantly, and I save mine and buy something big.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. All right. So, what should we look for in a mentor?
Yeah, look, that's a really good question, and I think I'm going to ask Robert that question. Definitely.
I'm writing down all of these questions. So I've got
Okay,
them.
so far, I love Belinda's question the most. It's excellent.
Yeah.
Yep, totally.
Yeah,
Now, Belinda, are you on our Facebook group, Australian Property Chat? Because I know you're communicating through YouTube at the moment. You're on our YouTube channel.
So that's Angela.
Just got to find a good way of reaching out to Belinda if she wins the prize.
Yeah. Actually, if I could. So which question are we looking at? The first one? This one so far?
No.
This one?
I think this is the question.
This one?
I think that's a really powerful question for Robert Kiyosaki. But there's a few other questions. Let's read a few more.
Okay. Would you recommend buying property through your super via savings?
Or via savings.
Or via savings?
Good question. That's more individual depending on the person because
Yeah. That's
you can
more
do
a question for you.
Yeah, that's more of a question for me actually. But without knowing the situation, it's hard to say because with super, you need to have enough money in super for one. Also, you need to make sure you're getting enough super in your job to maintain that.
Yeah. Through your super via savings. That was Facebook user 2. I don't have a name.
Yep. Let's go. We've got a few more.
All right, let's go next one. Okay, will cryptocurrency be the future of investing, and how will crypto impact the real estate market? Will real estate take a back seat because of crypto?
Look, good question. Because that's two questions in one. And that's going to be interesting. I'm going to ask Robert that one too. But I think, crypto is an interesting thing because now you've got NFTs as well, non-fungible tokens. That's just sort of taken off. And, it's fascinating because there's there's 19-year-olds that are multimillionaires because of Bitcoin.
Yeah, but they did it right at the start.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like with things like crypto, you can make a lot of money. But there's also people that have lost their houses and lost everything as well because it's so volatile. I don't think it's going to impact property, but I think it's definitely going to be something in the future. But the problem is a lot of these cryptos won't exist in the future.
So this one, George, please ask Robert, regarding assets versus liability, what percentage would you start buying liabilities, supercars, etc., to amount of assets, positive cash flow you have coming in?
Yeah, that's a good question because that's very individual. Because, I really think, because I say to people, rent vest and don't buy fancy cars. And then I've got a massive beach house and a convertible Porsche.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go, George, you're a hypocrite, right? You say one thing and do another. That's what a hypocrite means. But people don't understand the caveat. And what I say is, when you're starting to invest, don't waste your money on cars or anything. I didn't waste money on cars. I rent vested.
No.
I did all of it. But once you make enough money, then once you've earned the right, you can do what you like with your money, right?
Yeah.
If you want to get a pool and fill it up with champagne, I don't care. Seriously, that floats your boat, because what's the point of having money if you're not going to enjoy it? So I'm really, because there's two schools of thoughts. There's the people that say, just keep saving and be tight and never spend your money and all that. And I think that's stupid. I really think if you don't use your money for a better lifestyle, there's no point having it. I've actually got a very, very wealthy relative who's worth millions, and he doesn't spend his money at all. And he's got so much money. And it's like you don't have it if you're still getting up early for work and working long hours and stuff like that. And me personally, I think different people got a different comfort. Me personally, I like spending my passive income.
Yep.
I don't care about that, because passive income is like, you've got a golden goose, it lays an egg, you spend that golden goose egg, then it comes back again and you do it again. But if I have to work for money, I ain't spending it.
No.
Because that's too hard. That's really difficult. And I'd rather, get my money and get my money working for me. And once my money's working for me, then it's never ending.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a little pot of gold.
Yeah, so you've got to find out how much you want per year, invest, get to that level, and then you can do what you like.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like discipline or regret. I really think it's worth the discipline at the beginning, because I had a lot of discipline when I first started investing. I worked hard and I saved a lot of money and really,
knuckled down.
Knuckled down, because the sooner you knuckle down and the sooner you get those properties at the beginning, the quicker at the end you get to enjoy it. But if you fart ass around and spend your money now, you're never going to get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm not spending it now. If I went out and got a brand new car right now, I'm like, oh, this car will do for another 5 years. I want to buy it outright. I don't want to get a loan or anything like that for it, because that's not money you have.
I totally agree. When I buy cars, I buy them in cash.
Yeah.
And I don't buy brand new cars because I don't want to lose 30, 40% buying a brand new car straight a day later. I'd rather someone else lose that 30, 40% and give me a discount. So I always buy them a couple of years old.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Also, when you first buy a brand new car, there's all these toxins in the car and you'll have to breathe them in. I've had someone else use themselves as a filter, breathe all the toxins in, get rid of all the extra money, and then they give it to you. Like, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So what would he change about his book in 2021 to 2022? Applies to you as well, George.
What would you change about his book in 2020? Applies to you as well. Oh, right. Yes. We're going to be talking. This is a great question. Thank you for asking it, because we're actually going to be talking about this, because we're going to be talking about that on the 22nd and explain to you exactly what we're going to change. And it's only a couple of sentences. It's one paragraph. But this paragraph has got so much impact. It changes everything in the whole book. There you go.
How you look at it. Yeah, there you go. And that was Belinda again.
Yep.
Okay, and then we've got, have you brought another property apart from your first one with a credit card?
Okay.
Question for you, I think.
Okay. Have you bought another property apart from your first one with a credit card? I didn't buy my first property with a credit card.
All right, so, let's say you didn't. Have you ever?
Have I ever bought a property with a credit card? Look, I've done some very creative stuff in regards to buying assets. Yes. So, when I bought my first restaurant, I did some very creative stuff, and I should tell the story. It's interesting because what happened was I was working for a company that owed me some commission when I was in marketing, and I had a company car, a BMW, which was at the end of its lease, so they're going to get rid of it. So instead of paying all that tax on my commissions, because you lose 50%, I negotiated and they gave me the car instead because they wanted to get rid of it.
There you go.
And I got the parked car for next to nothing because the payout was so low. It was a BMW, beautiful BMW, funny enough. But so then I got the BMW, got a loan on the BMW, and used that loan to buy shares in a restaurant.
Oh, there you go.
So I had zero money, and I was going to get about $8,000 in commissions, but I turned the $8,000 into $70,000 worth of shares in the restaurant, and then I turned that original $8,000 into over $1 million.
There you go.
Not bad, huh?
You got to sort of think outside the box sometimes. I think a lot of people think when they've got nothing, they probably actually do. They just don't know how to utilize what they've got.
That's right. And when I bought my second property, I got a personal loan to get the deposit, and I bought the property. So the bank said you need 10% deposit back in those days. I didn't have 10% deposit, but I really wanted to get investment property. So I got a personal loan for 10%, and I got the personal loan really easily. It was easier than a house loan, funny enough. And then after the personal loan, I showed that I had savings in my bank account, then got the loan and bought the house. So 100% finance.
There you go.
That property, I paid $189,000. It's worth over $1 million now.
There you go. Wow.
And that's all from, I had about $3,000 in the bank at the time.
All right. So how are you able to continue setting goals when you are who you are?
Yeah, look, very good question. Your future has to be bigger than your past. Otherwise, your life's boring. And Robert Kiyosaki's got some massive goals in the future.
Yeah.
Right? And he really is into giving now. That's his mode now. Because he's got so much success. He's worth so much money that now
his goals might have changed completely. They might not be so financial.
They're more about financials and giving money away. But he likes making more. He likes making money, but giving it away as well.
Okay.
Him and his wife are really big on that. And I guess that's part of the reason he's doing this workshop with me, because he wants to help more people.
Okay.
And, even though, he said he's going to do a certain amount of time, he's like reached out the other week and said, hey, if you want me to, I'll do some PR. I'll go on television and promote the event. And he just did that just because he wanted to. How cool is that? What an awesome guy. Like, lots of respect, lots of love for Robert Kiyosaki. He's great. And also, I think I'm going to be getting him on our podcast. Well,
there you go. That's awesome. It is hard to think, though, when someone's got millions or billions of dollars and all these assets and things like that, what possible goal could they have next?
Well, look at Elon Musk. He wants to put humanity on another planet. Pretty awesome goal.
That's massive. It's hard to think that far out, I suppose, when you're in the position that most of us are in, or all of the members are in, when you're just gaining properties. It's hard to think of yourself in that position.
Absolutely. And what happens is, as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as you go up the hierarchy of needs, you start moving up and doing different things and think about different things. And I think, at the beginning, at the end of the day, to start off with, be selfish. Seriously, be selfish and think about you and your family and growing your property portfolio. Because once you've got that financial freedom, you'll automatically become selfless.
Okay, so Robert, would I make more dollars investing in property overseas, or should I keep everything in Australia first until I make dollars, then make my way overseas? Okay. So should we invest overseas first? I'll write that down for him.
Yep. We've got one more question and then we're out of here.
Yeah. We've got to pick the winner.
Already have.
Okay. All right, let's go. One more question. Okay, Robert, at what stage in your life did you become financially free, and what was your strategy?
That's excellent.
You read his book.
Exactly what I was going to say. His book explains it all.
Yeah.
He had Rich Dad and Poor Dad, and he followed the Rich Dad principles instead of Poor Dad principles. and those principles made a big difference. But I'm
That
going
was
to ask.
someone else's dad.
I think it's an excellent question. Look, guys, I must say, fantastic questions tonight. Brilliant, really good. We're going to choose a winner who's going to win the Pendo Pad. And remember, guys, if you want to come to get a free ticket to the one-day workshop, type in hashtag Robert and George, and our team will send out a free ticket to you.
Yep.
And the winner is, can I have a drum roll?
How do I do a drum roll? With my mouth? Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Douglas wins. And she wrote, what should we look for in a mentor? And the reason I've given you Belinda, the reason I've let you win and the reason you won is because I really think find the right mentor makes all the difference. It's the most important question anyone's asked. And I think it's an excellent question. And thank you so much for asking that question. Now, you're on YouTube at the moment. So if you want to...
I know Belinda. It's all right. I've got her number.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Belinda, great. Stacey's got your number. Stacey's going to get your details and we're going to send the Pendo Pad out. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Where's the workshop?
Congratulations.
Okay, the workshop is on the 22nd of January, 8 a.m. Sydney time, and it's going to be on Zoom. We're going to limit number of people on Zoom because Zoom can only get a certain amount of people on there. So that's why I want to get these pre-registrations and everything else like that. So
it's all set up.
Yeah. So well done, Belinda. I'm really proud of you. Excellent question. Stacey, thank you so much. It's really great hosting with you.
Thank you. Good hosting with you too.
I wish everyone a fantastic new year, right? And look, try to find time to write down your goals because
it's very important.
Very important. And what I want to do is I want to do an episode on goals next week. Next Thursday, we're going to do an episode on goals and talk about
That'd
that.
be awesome.
My favorite subjects. And guys, have a great time. Stay safe. Have a lot of fun. And I'll see you next year.
See you next year.
Happy New Year. Thank you for listening. I'm grateful for all our listeners around the world. If you found this podcast valuable, please share with someone that might find this useful. And please join our tribe of purpose-driven investors, increasing income and impact in our Facebook group, Positive Property. Please note, with a multi-million-dollar property portfolio and a passive income, I've become incredibly successful in investing in property. The fact of it is, however, many people may find investing in property challenging. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of hard work. However, becoming educated to make an informed decision and having the right advisors gives you the tools you need to succeed. The most important part of this formula, however, is to actually take action and apply that knowledge. It is important to understand the information I share is of a general nature only and is not taking into account your unique circumstances. If you're considering investing in any asset class, you need to seek the advice of an independent professional advisor who will be able to look at your specific situation. Be sure your advisor has actually achieved the kind of results you're seeking. Many won't have, so beware. We've taken great care putting those educational resources together. We'd be surprised if you didn't find any errors or omissions. If you do, our legal team says we have to say we're not responsible for those. In fact, as with all things, even your success, we're not responsible. That responsibility always has and always will come down to you and the actions you take. We're passionate about supporting you in that process and helping you increase your ability to create wealth, live the life you desire, and provide all the things you dream of for you and your family.